It's hard to get weekend sweeps in the Missouri Valley Conference. Southern gets their first against Valpo since they joined the league in 2018 with the coach Lance Rhodes. Coach Rhodes, a lot like how this year has gone, different ways where you've won all three games. I don't know if you win any of them without Crispin, how big he was. Timely RBI on Friday, which were the difference outside of Eltoff's grand slam. And then today, really the hit that I felt changed the whole trajectory of this game.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's nice to see him kind of getting in that groove offensively. And I know we've talked about it several times where he's starting to hit that point of the season where I think he's getting comfortable in the box. He's starting to have a bunch of live at bats racked up there. So I think we're probably beyond that point with him as far as like needing at bats to have timing and things like that, which now we're starting to see the offensive player that we saw for the most part of last season. And it's nice because he's kind of solidifying the middle of the order there. And how, the nice thing was is this weekend, seeing Bach start swinging it back, Eltoff starting to swing it a little bit better. So being able to put those guys with Lodi and Crispin and kind of starting to put that middle of the order there that's got some thump. And then, the top and the bottom kind of having some speed and causing some havoc on the bases and doing like that. So I think we're starting to get in a position offensively where, again, we can use multiple things, whether it's running, hitting balls in the gap, extra base hits over the wall, in order to beat teams. And yeah, I mean, it was a nice offensive weekend because we really needed to see some of those pieces start to play a little bit better, and I thought they did this weekend.
Did this weekend also really showcase how your team has improved in terms of manufacturing runs and not just manufacturing them, but taking advantage of other teams' mistakes?
Yeah, we always talk about we want to have a diverse offense to where whenever we're scouting the team and they have a weakness that we want to be able to exploit that weakness and be able to, win games in multiple ways. And I think you saw that especially today at the end of the game where, they just weren't doing a very good job of holding runners, times to the plate, and things like that. And we were continuing to get in scoring position, taking advantage of, first and third situations, moving up to second and third. And then all of a sudden that one hit that you get, instead of one run, it's two. And we were able to do that, multiple times today and kind of stretch that lead out. And that's what we have to be able to do. We have to be able to have an offense that has some dynamic to it where we have some speed, we have some guys that can, put a ball for an extra base hit because you don't want to just be one-dimensional and then let an opponent, get away with some things that they shouldn't be able to. So I was proud of our guys for taking advantage of some things that we were able to do that this weekend.
Obviously, we're talking after the third game, but felt the first two games of the series too. Benny was huge. I mean, 7 RBI driven. I know 4 of them come off that grand slam. What is it about his at bats that really seems like, one, when you hit a grand slam, that's going to be a big part in any game, but it really feels like he ignites you guys whenever he gets any sort of hit, any sort of contact.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's just got that personality about him, within our team, within our dugout. I mean, he's just a guy that, he draws people to him with his, just an easygoing kind of kid. He's handled, some tough failure really well. When you had the stretch that he had, a lot of people just have a tough time recovering from that. And he's continued to show up at practice, and it's started to look better. I'm proud that it kind of showed in a game the work that he's putting in, and I think that's one reason too. Our guys. It's a special group. They really pull for each other. They know Benny's been struggling. They see that he's working in practice, and to see that he come out and had some success in the game. I think our guys were just happy for him, and it just kind of with his personality, he just kind of shows through on those things and just gets our guys kind of lifted up and just a good morale to have.
There were multiple times in the game today, and even I know yesterday's game, 13-1, and even the 6-4 game on Friday, where you could sense that the game could go either way at critical junctures. How much did you find out about your team from the culture standpoint, the togetherness standpoint, the things you knew you had really were tested this weekend?
Yeah, I think I was saying this earlier. The dugout, it feels right. I like where I've told you before too. I like where our team is at, and what I mean by that is you know there's a lot of times I've been in a position where it gets in the sixth, seventh, eighth inning, and you feel like you're in the ninth. Like it feels tight. It feels like you're running out of time. And then I've also been in dugouts before on winning teams where you're in the eighth and ninth, and you feel like you got 9, 12 outs still to work with. And that's kind of where I feel like we're at right now. Our dugout feels good. Doesn't matter if we're down, if we have 3, 6, 9 outs to work with, it still feels like we have time. Um, I think a large reason why it feels that way is because we're throwing well enough to give our offense time to come back. I'm super proud of our pitching. I mean, our pitching has kept us in games for over a month now. And that's why, again, I like where our complete group is at because, if we play defense like we played this weekend, which I know we can, getting some of those guys back offensively swinging like we know that they're going to swing, keep pitching like we're pitching. I mean, we have multiple ways that we can beat teams, and if we do that, we'll be a tough team to play against, which we're going to have to do that because we got so many good teams in our league this year. I mean, it's going to be such a competitive league, and any time that you can sweep somebody, it just kind of gives you a one up because I don't know how many times somebody's going to sweep a team in our league this year. So it's nice to be able to do that.